What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ing Vendetta. This is the birth of explaining. No, this is the explaining of the birth of Vendetta. So you guys know that I've been Ing Vendetta for now a couple of years. The plan was I was getting bullied at work, and I wanted to be somebody that couldn't be bullied, right? So my favorite movie is Vendetta, and I was like, it sounds good, right? And the things because of the tattoos, I'm tattooed as fuck. So when I started doing videos as Vendetta, the birth of it was because it all happened. At work I was getting bullied, right? And I got into a depression, and I was sitting at home. I was on sickness leave, right? And my so I live in the same apartment for like 10 years, straight up. It's 10 years. That's a lot of time, right? And what happened is I have a really good relationship with the previous janitor. So janitor, he's unretired. He's he left. So there's a new one, and the new one, I I don't like him. I don't like the person. They couple of times I met them. They were negative. They were making comments, And the previous janitor, yeah, he was an asshole, but he was a kind asshole, he tried to help me a bunch of times. I would pay 2 months. If I was late for 1 month, he would let me pay for 2 months, right? And it was a time where I didn't want to go out of the house. Fuck that. So I would pay 2 months in advance, and he was down on it. He was down. He would even come to the apartment and slip a a proof that I've paid for the 2 months. It would give me once every 2 months, one every month. Sorry. So that's not the point. The point is the bird of vendetta. So I am from the mindset that there's always been good versus evil. I was talking with my shrink, and he's very religious. He's very big believer, and yin and yang, right? So I read up on the concept, and it's very similar to Incan. Invented out Inky is the person I am. I'm Inky, right? There's a part where I'm really kind. I take a lot of shit from people, right? And I don't say nothing. So Inky, to me, Inky is a great person. He's a kind person, and he's willing to do a lot for other people. At the end of the day, the world will eat Inky. In a perfect world, we're all a little kinder, but the world's in a kind place. So it happens about 2 3 weeks ago. My janitor, the one I don't like, he came in to knock at the door, and he was like, "I'm gonna need your in the window," because the person on top of my apartment, their their window is fucked up. I don't know what they did, but they fucked it up, and now they need my window to measure it. And keep in mind, that's a day after I was diagnosed with depression. I'm like, I don't feel like it. He said, and he started telling me, oh well, if I want to take it, I'm gonna take it, right? So I called my father because my father one of my closest friend, and he's a landlord. So I'm like, Dad, is he allowed to do that? He said no, he's allowed to go in the apartment, but he's not allowed to take shit out of the apartment without your permission, and he didn't give you permission. Plus, there's 8th floor with like 8th floor everyday cysts. We're going back to 2017. Why not? And yeah, I went back to the apartment. I went out. It took me a lot of courage because I'm not the guy that's very confrontational. I'm not a very aggressive person. So I go to him and said, "Listen, I'm dealing with depression. I'm not really down with that." And they start giving me shit. It's like, "Oh, we all live in this building together." True, true, true. But you didn't ask other people. You asked it from my window. There's 8 floors. You didn't ask 8 people. You asked one person, right? And the next day, I told them no. He said, I'm gonna find out who's on your bell, and I'm gonna call them because he knew my father was on the bell. And my father is he's crazy. He's crazy, bro. You saw me. He's nice, but nuts. Very aggressive. Very very aggressive. So he said, I'm gonna call your dad, and it's like, "Pfft, call my dad ahead, bro. You're not gonna like it, right?" So I'm like, okay, and he's like, the next day he comes in with the owner. I can say no to him, but I cannot say no to the owner, right? So I'm like, okay. So not only, so this is where vendetta comes in. That day, I was depressed. Like my only pleasure was streaming and doing and eating pistachio because that's my favorite snack. And he comes to the house with the owner. He takes the window. He come back to reinstall the window. Doesn't do it. He just put them there. I have to do it myself. I don't know how to put windows up, right? And the only reason he uninstalled them was because the owner was there. Because otherwise, I would have done it. He leaves. You see that I have pistachio? Didn't ask. Just take a handful. It's not a handful of pistachio the problem. It's not a handful of anything that's a problem. The problem is, not only you disrespecting me by coming with the owner when I told you no, you're disrespecting me by taking my food like you fucking own the place. It's not your place, it's my place. I've been here for 10 years. It's not my own. It's an apartment I'm renting. But you're a renter too. So chill. And when I don't mean to be I'm not trying to be derogative to a certain group. I'm not trying to point a certain group out, but when he left, he closed the door. I stood in the apartment knowing that he disrespecting me, taking the pistachio. I'm 3 years old and I felt like a bitch. I felt like a fucking pussy. I felt like such a bitch, dude. I was like, holy shit. This guy just walked all over you. You're in depression because people were walking over you at work. This guy just walked over you. So I started thinking very negatively, you know? That's when I said, okay, well, we're gonna have two characters. We're gonna have Vendetta. We're gonna be more present with Vendetta in everyday life because Vendetta is, as much as it is a persona, it's real life, right? I am that way. The way I am on stream is the real me. I'm not planning. I'm not playing a character. So I started doing Vendetta character because I'm like, dude, if I do a video as Vendetta, I'm gonna start thinking like a Vendetta, you know? And at the end of the day, that's something I need to do. Like, who does he think he is? And it's crazy how life works because if it was only that incident, the windows, the pistachio, I wouldn't have said shit. But I was on depression for being disrespected, and I got disrespected too. You think me being depressed? I went off a lot. I saw three people. Three people: my mom, my dad, and him. You understand? So that's what when I was like, nah, it's not. And the plan will be to make more videos than that to teach people that you can be kind and you can be a bit of an asshole sometimes. Sometimes you need to be an asshole, and that's not because you should be kind all the time, but it doesn't work like that. Me filming at Vendetta is a way to implement something in my life. I feel like since I'm so honest with you guys, since I share so much with you guys online, I feel like me filming at Vendetta is kind of playing a role, but this is really what I think. So me being able to do it in front of the camera, in front of people, in front of you guys, should be able to do it in real life. So yeah. And I understand not everybody deserves it, but you're gonna have a perfect day meeting a lot of good people. And one day, and once in your whole day, you're gonna meet someone a bit of an asshole. And that asshole's gonna ruin the whole day. Understand that? That's not fair. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. But I love you, that you matter. Peace.